Alright guys, I am back with a quick video to talk about the WWE brand extension they did last night separating Raw and SmackDown. I also wanted to talk a little bit about Brock Lesnar failing his drug test. And when it comes to Brock, this doesn't really affect my opinion of him in any way. He did fail a couple tests in UFC. He had estrogen blockers or something in his system. And the reason this doesn't really bother me as a Brock Lesnar fan is because everyone is on something. I mean, you can't really say 100% that everyone takes stuff, but it's common knowledge that in sports like the NFL, baseball, tons of sports, that guys are taking stuff. And when it comes to wrestling and UFC, these guys, at least in UFC, I'm pretty sure, they know when they're getting tested. And it's really just a matter of getting it out of your system in time. That's the game. That's how it works. So what it boils down to is you take what you need during training, and then you have to flush it out of your system before the drug test. And this happens in tons of sports. Guys know about this. That's why Peyton Manning's head is 3 times the size it was when he started his football career because of growth hormone. And it's not like Brock Lesnar was cheating. I'm sure the other guy was taking stuff too. He just didn't get caught. He got it out of his system before the fight. So this doesn't really affect my opinion of Brock. Now, what'll be interesting is to see what WWE does to punish him, or if they even do anything to him at all. But yeah, this isn't like Brock Lesnar's some terrible person or something like that. I mean, watch WWE around WrestleMania season, and guys are significantly bigger. Especially Brock Lesnar and Triple H. Just, you can pay attention to that next year if you want, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But they come out and they're much bigger. I mean, it's WrestleMania season, so. But yeah, guys use them to get bigger. They use them to come back from injuries quicker. It's a common thing that happens in sports, and because they're illegal, guys have to flush them out of their system before the drug test. But it's not like they're not out there taking them. And I mean, Peyton Manning was a quarterback, and he was using, so. You can be sure that defensive linemen are using them too, and just pretty much everybody, I assume. But anyways, on to the WWE brand extension. I watched some of this show last night, and I gotta be honest with you guys, I skipped the matches. I just didn't care at all about any of these matches, so I skipped those. I really just watched the draft picks, and it was very lackluster. This show actually had me interested. I said before in the Q&A video, when it comes to the brand extension, I like it in the short term for this one show. The one show was fun to watch. This was not fun to watch. WWE has been promoting the SmackDown Live on Tuesdays now. It's going to be big. It's going to be a new show like Raw. And you know they were getting all these new viewers because of the draft, and they put on the crappiest show possible. I mean, this was so boring. I couldn't believe it. And the draft picks for SmackDown do not make me want to tune into SmackDown. SmackDown got the shaft on this show. I mean, it's ludicrous, actually. So I'm going to go through some of these picks here. And just the top guys. So Raw gets Seth Rollins, Charlotte, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, The New Day, Sami Zayn, Jericho, Sasha Banks, Kevin Owens, The Club. Well, not The Club, but they get Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, Enzo and Big Cass. Even Sheamus. I thought, okay, maybe they'll get Sheamus on SmackDown. Sheamus is on Raw. Okay, and then they get the Dudley Boys, Braun Strowman. And yeah, that's really all the big names. So on the SmackDown side, you get Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, John Cena, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, Becky Lynch, and American Alpha. I would say those are the best picks for SmackDown. That's about it. Everybody else, I mean, you're talking names like Kane, Zack Ryder, Alberto Del Rio, Breeze Ango, Eva Marie, Eric Rowan. I mean, this is just garbage. SmackDown really got screwed over here. They have this whole thing going where Dean Ambrose is the champion, so SmackDown has the belt. And I'm pretty sure at the pay-per-view, they're going to change that so that Raw has the belt. This would not surprise me at all. But they have to do something with SmackDown 2 to kind of bump it up. So they're going to have to bring back a new title, or the World Heavyweight Championship WCW belt, or something like that. I mean, there was really nothing refreshing here. I guess some of the NXT picks are cool, but I was reading on a forum I go to, and some guys were making a lot of sense when they said, this just makes the general managers of SmackDown and Raw look really stupid. If they could call up anyone from NXT, why didn't they pick Austin Aries or Nakamura or Samoa Joe? They didn't pick any of the big names. They didn't even have a storyline for why they didn't. They just picked other guys. So they really didn't think this through. And I don't know why. They had so much time to put this together, and the rosters are just so different. I mean, if they wanted to try to raise SmackDown up to be a contender to Raw, to make it look like it's another Raw, they failed miserably. And this is just, a lot of these picks did not make sense. So everyone's talking about American Alpha being this great tag team, right? Well, they're on SmackDown, so you would think, well, that's a great pick for SmackDown. But the other tag teams they're going to face are the Usos, the Ascension, the Vaudevillains, who I actually like, but come on, they're not like a big team at the moment, and Breezango. I mean, that is crazy. Okay, I was wondering about the Goldust R-Truth team. That's on Raw. So instead of bringing them in to feud with guys like Enzo and Cass or Anderson and Gallows, they're feuding with the Usos, the Ascension, Breezango, and the Vaudevillains. It just seems like a waste. And then, I mean, they split up the club, and they split up the Wyatt family. So I really have no idea what the logic was here. And I feel that while SmackDown has Daniel Bryan as the general manager, or Shane McMahon or something, I don't know what's going on with that. It really can't help a show that doesn't have the same talent. And finally, the last thing I want to say about this brand extension is we've all felt the tedious 3 hours of Monday Night Raw every week, and how brutal that is to sit through. Now, that was a show with everybody. We're talking the full roster at their disposal. The writing team could do anything they wanted. They had the whole roster every week for 3 hours of Raw. You're telling me they're cutting that in half now, and we expect this to be a better show? No. This is bad news. Same thing with SmackDown. I mean, SmackDown, no one's really watched SmackDown in a long time, but now you're taking away a lot of the top guys and expecting that to be able to compete with Raw. So it's this was really disappointing. They did separate John Cena and Roman Reigns like I knew they would, because they want to protect these guys, and they didn't even make them the top picks. The top picks were like Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Come on, those aren't the top guys. It's Cena and Reigns, and so they separated those guys. But I mean, it's really just going to be the shows featuring them. The same thing we see now. Except they'll probably have more time because they're the only major stars they have on each show. Randy Orton came back, and he's on SmackDown, which didn't surprise me because I read in an interview that Randy Orton was talking about how when he comes back after this fight with Lesnar, he's going to be feuding with AJ. So I knew that AJ and Orton would end up on the same show. As far as Orton goes, I feel like he's probably not going to be around for too long anyways, so you really can't even consider him a big draw that he's on SmackDown. With all his injuries and his history of injuries, it's easier to get injured once that happens. So I would anticipate that he either gets injured again, or he just cuts back on how much he's willing to participate in these matches to begin with. And his time on the road and everything, I think he wants to really tone that down now. So, and I can't blame him for that. But yeah, that's the WWE brand extension. It was a bad show, and I really don't have a lot of interest in either of these. Not that I did before, but I mean, I don't know. I thought it would be a fun thing to watch. I skipped around. I watched the draft picks. I was over it, and I just wanted to make a quick video talking about the absurdity of these picks. So that's my review, or whatever this was. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching.